The Jackson family is definitely the most amazing group of musicians we have ever seen in history. Every single one of the 9 Jackson children landed a big solo hit song on the popular Billboard charts. But today, most regular people only remember 2 of them. You will probably never guess which family member managed to beat Michael himself to take the top spot on the charts. We are going to look at how talented his siblings truly were. They were not quite as amazing as Michael, but honestly, nobody else in the world was either. What did they do best? What were their biggest mistakes? And how big did they get? To start things off right, we have to look closely at the next most famous family member who sold over 100 million records and made it big. If you love these amazing conversations, smash that subscribe button and drop a comment to help us grow. Janet Jackson is the single family member who became a massive superstar on the exact same level as Michael. But most music fans completely forget that her very first 2 records were total failures. She put out her first album back in 1982 when she was just a 16-year-old kid trying to make it big. That first record sold a couple 100,000 copies, and her main song only made it to number 64. It was a decent start, but since her tough father Joe Jackson was running the show, it was not the massive success he expected from his children. A couple of years down the line, she attempted to make another big hit. Her second record was named Dream Street, and her brother Marlon actually helped make it. Sadly, it only reached number 147 on the charts and never had a single hit song. It did even worse than her first try. By the time 1985 rolled around, Janet was 19, and it looked like her music days were finished before they truly got off the ground. Because of that, she made a huge choice to cut all business ties with her relatives. She left her father's team and picked a new boss named John McClain to help her out. This new manager brought her to work with 2 music makers that absolutely nobody knew back then. Their names were Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Together, this new team finished her iconic Control record in only 6 weeks.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
They're incredibly talented, incredibly creative. So it wasn't just taking a Minneapolis sound, but also bringing the Jimmy and Terry feel to that, and me bringing my own little thing to it. It helped to create a sound of my own.
The new music started way down on the charts, but it quickly shot up to the very top spot. It sold a massive number of copies in just 7 days, breaking records for women in music back then. It gave her 5 separate top 10 hits, and people across the globe bought 10 million copies. Next, she went out and repeated her massive success. Her iconic Rhythm Nation record stayed at the number 1 spot for an entire month. Then, it made chart history by doing something completely fresh. It landed 7 top 5 hit songs, making it the only album ever to reach that crazy milestone. In 1991, she broke a massive record yet again. She signed a giant new deal with Virgin Records that instantly made her the biggest earning musician on earth. People say that contract was worth a staggering $40 million. There is no doubt that Janet was an incredible force in pop music, but she definitely had some weak points too. Her voice was never super loud or powerful, which was her main issue. Back when stars like Whitney Houston were shocking the world with huge notes, Janet could not compete on vocals. Janet made up for it with her soft, smooth singing style that gave her music a completely different feel.
A lot of people feel that I'm sexy. I think that's a compliment.
Her absolute biggest talent was that she could easily dance circles around all the other pop vocalists who had those massive voices. Whitney Houston could definitely sing circles around her, but Whitney was never going to perform those intense military dance moves on stage. While Janet became the clear breakout star, a whole lot of music fans totally forget that her brother Jermaine came very close to that same level. Jermaine landed 16 separate hit tracks on the big music charts, grabbed a Grammy nod, and spent 10 years making top 30 hits. He was the only brother next to Michael who managed to create a true solo pop career. For a short time during the early 80s, people really compared him to the best. He was also the second main singer back in the old Jackson 5 days. He did not have the exact same giant vocal power as little Michael, but his singing was super smooth and deep. This special sound helped give their tracks a great balance. He dropped his very first solo track in 1972, and it went all the way to number 9, selling 1 million copies. Everything changed in 1975 when the big family breakup went down. The brothers chose to leave their old label, Motown, to sign a fresh deal elsewhere. They wanted more cash and total control over their music tracks. However, Jermaine picked comfort and stayed behind because he wanted to remain loyal to the boss, Berry Gordy. It helped that he was wed to the boss's daughter. Because of that choice, Jermaine was left all by himself at the old record label, trying to make it as a solo act. The big issue was that his next 3 solo albums were complete failures. It really started to look like he made the biggest mistake of his life. But everything changed when Stevie Wonder gave him a ring. In 1980, Jermaine teamed up with Stevie Wonder to drop a massive track. That single earned him a big Grammy nod for his incredible singing performance. The wildest part of the story is that for 1 whole year, Jermaine actually beat out Michael on the charts. His song took the absolute number 1 crown for the entire year. Michael's huge hit song was stuck down at number 2 behind his brother. Jermaine kept up his success through the early part of the decade with plenty of popular tracks. He even helped create Whitney Houston's very first record. But when pop music styles shifted in the 90s, he could not keep pace like Michael and Janet did. His 1992 record was a total failure on the charts, and his time as a major solo artist was basically over for good. Jermaine's absolute best quality was his ultra-smooth singing voice, which made him the finest vocalist next to Michael. He was also great at making beats, and he was an amazing bass guitar player. On the flip side, Jermaine was not very good at changing his style. He could not adjust his voice or his music to match what young fans wanted to hear. When you look back at his old choice to stay behind at Motown, it is clear his biggest issue was handling new things. He picked the safe route where he felt cozy, even though it was very obvious that he needed to move on with his brothers. Today, when people talk about this famous musical family, almost nobody ever brings up the oldest sister, Rebby Jackson. She managed to score 2 top 10 tracks, a gold record, and put out 4 full albums, yet only superfans even know who she is today. The most interesting part of her entire life story is that she never really wanted to be a famous singer at all. Being the eldest child, she spent most of her younger years raising her own kids at home while her little brothers became global superstars. But by the time 1984 arrived, she decided to give show business a shot and put out her very first album.
Why did it take you so long to get around to doing all of this?
That's a question that everybody asks, and I guess the best way to put it is that I got married in '68 and I was busy with my family. And even though I've always enjoyed music, I never thought about going into it on a professional level.
Starting a pop career at 34 years old is definitely unusual for a brand new singer. But when you have Michael Jackson writing and creating your tracks, you are bound to win. Her song Centipede became a massive hit and sold over 500,000 copies. She dropped another successful song in 1986 that went straight up the music charts. Then in 1988, she had another track peak all the way at number 3. It seemed like she was on a great path to fame, but she started her music journey just a bit too late in life. She dropped a final record in 1998, but by then she was nearly 50 and did not care about being a star. It is tough to grade her musical talents because she never actually enjoyed being under the bright lights of the stage. She wed her regular school boyfriend, raised 3 children, and preferred a peaceful home. Her real gift was taking care of her family, which is just as amazing. Taking care of a home is just as great as being a giant pop celebrity. LaToya was the very first daughter to try a solo career.
Get your hands on a LaToya, and you'll never let go.
She became famous for being the most unusual sister. She did adult magazine shoots, wed a bad business manager who forced her into a scary life, and talked openly to reporters about all the secret things that went on inside their house.
We always had to smile for the cameras whenever we were on television or taking pictures and pretend like we were this loving, perfect family. However, at home it was quite different for us.
Still, her early music data shows she did much better than people think, landing 9 songs on the charts. Her very first track did great on the dance charts. A few years later, she had a song in the top 60 and multiple R&B hits. This was actually a much faster start than what most of her brothers experienced when they went solo. She was moving fast toward making her own name in the business. Once she quit working with her father, her career completely broke down. It could have gone well, like Janet's story, but she made a poor choice. She did not hire smart music bosses to help her guide her songs. Instead, she chose a dangerous guy named Jack Gordon, wed him, and he started making terrible threats against her and Michael.
He literally said, I'm going to kill you, your brother, everybody.
Yes. No, not everybody. Just myself.
And Michael.
Michael and Jan. And I believed him. I believed him because of things that I had seen from being with him.
She was terrified because she saw how mean he could be in person. By the middle of the decade, she lost all her money and was completely stuck in that bad spot. Her husband used her name to make fast cash and made her do terrible shows she hated. Thankfully, she managed to get a divorce in 1997, but she lost an entire decade of her prime working years because of him. She managed to change paths and became a popular star on reality television shows for many years. These days, she spends her time talking to fans about staying healthy while she works through her own personal medical battles. If we judge things just on singing talent, she was definitely the weakest vocalist in the household. But coming from a family that talented means she was still much better than regular people out there making music. Fans always compared her to her famous brothers and wanted her to dance with the exact same power as Michael, which was not very fair to her.
People have a tendency to compare you because you come from the same family, and they expect for you to be like Michael or have the energy that he exerts out to the public. And I don't feel that that's fair because I do what I do and he does what he does well.
Marlon was definitely the child who practiced the most. Singing did not come easily to him at all, and he had to push himself extra hard just to keep up with the rest of the group on stage. He was not a natural dancer when they started out either. While little Michael was a total natural genius, Marlon had to practice day and night just to avoid getting kicked out of the band.
That was ancient history. Then is then, and now is now.
By the time the band became huge stars, Marlon was actually the one creating all the dance routines. Michael gets all the praise for dancing, but Marlon came up with their classic early steps and later wrote his own solo tracks. In 1987, he dropped a solo record called Baby Tonight, and the main song did great on the R&B charts. Big labels backed him up, but the album finished with low sales numbers across the country. Instead of trying again, Marlon chose to quit the music scene entirely. He still does shows with his brother Jackie sometimes, but his solo career stopped right there after that one big hit song. Marlon never had a massive singing voice like his other brothers did, but his real gift was his incredible dancing style, making him one of the absolute best performers in a household full of legends.
I had to live my life over, I will live it the same.
You're endless. You see endless possibilities for you.
That's for anybody in the world. It's your mind. Whatever you want to do. You see something you want to do, you can do it yourself. No.
Little Randy was just a tiny toddler when his brothers started the band. He spent his childhood watching them from the side of the stage while working hard on instruments like the piano and guitar. He helped write tracks for their big albums and got a lot of praise for it. In 1989, he tried a solo run where he created all his own songs. His first single did okay on the charts, but another project got in his way. Janet's massive Rhythm Nation album dropped at the exact same time, so the bosses spent all their cash on her. The label was also changing owners, so nobody gave Randy the help he needed. His album failed quickly, his band broke apart, and he never made solo music again. The worst part is that he was left out when his brothers made the Hall of Fame because they only picked the first 5 members. At least he stays very close with his sister Janet today. Janet even gave him a top job running her new music business. He never got a fair shot at solo fame, but he seems happy to let his sister take the spotlight.